Well, today is the 2021 BC Yukon Kidney Ride, and people all over the province and the Yukon are going to be walking around their yards and up and down the streets. And we used to do this all together at McDonald Park, but of course the last 2 years we can't do that in person. So ranchers and cowboys prefer to ride rather than walk, and got a guest along, and that is my neighbor Bob Brash from the Rafter Sea Ranch, good neighbors of ours. And actually between Bob and I, we are carrying 4 kidneys, but I've got 3 of them, and Bob only has 1. And Bob had some issues with kidney cancer. How long ago, Bob?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. And so the kidney ride's important to Bob as well. So that's DJ, and this is Cody. And I would like to thank all of you folks who've been so generous with your sponsorship. Even Jason and Bronwyn Irwin, great horse trainers way out in Port Elgin, Ontario, just came up with a sponsorship. So thank you guys and everybody else. Now, we're going to really see some country. We're going to head out across the hills, and we'll bring you with us. So come on along. Let's go for the Kidney Ride 2021. There's a jet up there. You don't see that too often. Yeah. Boy, I don't think it's gonna rain. Hope not. You never know. I remember a couple of kidney marches down at McDonald's Park, and oh boy, we just got soaked. But the good thing about those is they had a real nice pancake breakfast, and I think it was Rotary or the Lions Club took that.
Jonathan will have one to get over the weekend.
Well, we're going to go right by his place, and yeah, a good chance he might. Yeah, boy, the grass is getting nice and tall.
Grass up the meadow, 2 feet tall.
Wow. Now, Bob, you were telling me that 4 years ago today, you got some kind of startling news. What was that?
Yeah, it was actually 4 years ago this morning. Found out from an ultrasound I had kidney cancer. The care for that was to remove the left kidney. So I run around on 1 kidney now.
And how's the recovery period for you?
Excellent. Very quick turnaround. Miraculous surgeon, Dr. Autumn, picked me up. And, yeah, I was back at it in a very short time, and healthy as a horse. Haven't missed a beat.
Well, being your neighbor, kind of aware of that. And you know what that points out is the fact that we were built with 2 kidneys, but we don't need 2. A lot of people can survive with just 1. Like my kidney donor, Louis the Big Rig McIver. Donated his kidney in 2017, and turned out we were a match. And that is a point that a lot of people, I think, aren't aware of, that anybody that passes all the health protocols can be a kidney donor. And even in BC, there are hundreds of people on dialysis waiting for a transplant. So the important point is get yourself registered as a kidney donor. All you have to do is go to kidney.ca. Hey, we're going to cross Paul Creek here. Not running near as high as it does sometimes. But we just passed the branding corrals at what was at one time known as the Open Arms Ranch. It's now the Field Ranch. And had an episode there at those branding corrals helping Gordon brand his calves a few years ago that led to one of my very first original pieces of cowboy poetry. Hope I can remember it. It was branding day, and we were on our way to help our good neighbor gourd out. It was the end of June. The range was in bloom, and those calves had all grown big and stout. I dressed for the part and was ready to start checking my cowboy gear out with a calf healing rope and a horse that can cope with the job of dragging calves up. I went for the door, but Billy stopped me once more and said, "Where are you going so certain? In those new Wrangler jeans. My cowboy, it seems, ought to be wearing his old pants for working." I gave her a wink. I said, "Sweetheart, I think your fears are unfounded, of course. I'll be roping calves gently. And I catch high percently, don't I, Bob?"
Absolutely, everyone, Hugh.
And I don't intend to get off of my horse. Now, if you've been there, you know how it feels when your first loop catches both heels. The next 3 loops I threw. Sailed clean, straight and true. I figured I'd never miss till we were through. And then this big brindle calf, he must have weighed 3.5, kicked my loop clean off of one hop. The question, should I redally and try to get both heels in a lock? The ground crew was tough. One should be enough to subdue this tough bovine okay, but when they went for his head, I think he saw red and he tried hard at running away. He cut back to my right with all of his might and took all the slack out of my rope. Now I was dallied up tight, and I felt just a slight shift in my angle of slope. And as my saddle slid over my horse's right shoulder, I wondered now, where will I land? In the grass, on the clover, on top of Gordon's dog, Rover, or somewhere down there in the sand? Well, my landing wasn't really hard, but it inspired the laughter of my pards with my splashdown complete on the side of my seat on the biggest, greenest cow pie in the yard. Well, at times, Billy has seen me get into these kind of quandaries. She seldom gets mad, that I am glad, but you know, since that day, Bob, I've had to do all my own laundry.
Well, I don't blame her for that.
Yeah.
I've never done something like that.
I'm sure. Well, we've made a long climb. We're kind of right up on the top of the summer range now. And if we look to the north, and I don't know if the phone camera will pick it up, but that's Todd Mountain, which is known and loved by most of us as Sun Peak Ski Resort. Might be a little tough skiing on there right now, but anyway, the kidney ride continues. You know, it is so nice to have a guy along that's young and limber, and he's got a good quiet horse, and he can open and close all these gates and saves this old man from getting off his horse. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome, Hugh. I don't know who the old man is. Ooh.
Darn, this is just too pretty not to try and record some of it. More of the cattle country, not too far out of the city of Kamloops. Hope everybody doing the kidney walk around your yard is doing well, and we've covered a lot of miles so far, and we still have quite a few miles to go before we get back to the home corral. Old DJ, boy, he walks right out when he's going home. Well, I'll tell you, Bob, that was a pretty enjoyable ride. It took us up to some beautiful country, some fantastic trails, and the nice thing about it is it has a purpose to it. Like, this is hopefully going to help a lot of people who have chronic kidney disease. And I remember in our case, after the transplant, Billy and I had to stay in Vancouver for 2.5 months to make sure my anti-rejection medication was working right, and we thought, oh boy, a hotel room in Vancouver for 2.5 months at $150 to $200 a night. But because of the Kidney Foundation and events that raise funds like this, they have been able to rent several really comfortable suites close to the medical facilities. We were able to stay in one for, I think it cost us about $30 or $35 a night for that whole time. So that's just one of the many things that the Kidney Foundation does. So we're going to look for my old guitar. I think I left it out in the corral somewhere, and when I find it, I'm going to do a little cowboy, kind of a cowboy kidney song that I wrote. I sure am. Well, I found this old guitar out here in the pasture, and I'm just going to see if it might happen to work, if Cody will stand for it. When the guitar's out of tune, she won't stand still. Anyway, we'll see. Seems to be more or less in tune. There we go. Now it's been something riding here again. Thank you so much for donating what you can. Though we can't get together face to face. You sure have helped to keep us in the race. Till the next time we come riding through, think of all the good things you can do. Catching up with old friends, not leaving it for too long, helping them when they need it, and smiling all day long. Oh, the places and the faces change, cross the bridge of time and change. Once again we're homeward bound. There's one thing we promise you, that's another rendezvous next time the kidney walk comes around. See you down the trail somewhere real soon, everybody.